I'm a former New York State Supreme Court Justice. Let me tell you about a real case story. This is a situation that involves a large percentage of the people of the United States of America. Millions and millions of people. It's called back pain. Now, there are a lot of areas of treatment for back pain. Let me talk about one specific type of treatment. It's called an epidural injection. In that situation, the doctor injects certain painkillers in what is known as the epidural space. Now, I'm not going to go into the anatomy and get very clinical about it. I want to keep it very, very simple. But it's an epidural space, and this particular space is located in the lower back. And the object is to inject certain painkillers into that lower epidural space, and that is going to actually affect the nerves and deaden the nerves in that area that produce the pain. And in many cases, it's successful, and the patient will be somewhat free of pain or lesser pain for a certain period of time. Enter Mrs. Jones. We'll call her Mrs. Jones. Mrs. Jones had a chronic back condition for a long, long time. She sees her doctor. The doctor says, "You're a candidate for an epidural." Okay, fine. They arrange for an epidural. She has an injection put in that epidural space in the lower back. And a few days later, instead of being relieved of pain, she has violent headaches. And these headaches continue. They go on for weeks, for months. She's taking all kinds of Anacin and all of the other painkillers for headaches. You know this. You know the routine. Nothing helps. Well, after about 6 months of this obviously is a problem. And the problem, of course, is that what the doctor did when he injected, instead of getting into the epidural space, it went into the area where cerebral spinal fluid would be located. Once again, I don't want to get too technical about this, but cerebral spinal fluid is manufactured in the brain, and it bathes the entire spinal cord. And this is a place you don't want to put this kind of painkiller, whatever that is. Okay. Now, not having relief and having these constant terrible headaches, which are very debilitating, she contacts us. We look into the matter, we retain experts, etc., and of course, we bring a lawsuit. Now, this is a lawsuit that is brought in another state. Now, the defense is, well, this is a risk of the procedure, and if it's a risk of the procedure, that, they claim, is an absolute defense to a medical malpractice case. Well, we say, wait a minute, doctor. You can call it a risk of the procedure, but the point is that you have to have a certain standard of medical care, and you have to inject in the right place, in the right epidural space, and not get into cerebral spinal fluid. Well, we go to trial, experts testify, we have all kinds of world-class experts on our side, they have experts on their side, the family testifies, jury gets the case, they come back with what is the largest verdict that state has ever had in a medical malpractice case. They take it on appeal, and the appellate court affirms the verdict. Difficulty is that Mrs. Jones still has those headaches and will have those headaches. And once again, the risk of procedure defense did not work as a defense here, because we knew how to get around it, and we did get around it, and justice indeed was served. But the pain to Mrs. Jones will unfortunately continue, but at least she'll have some better quality of life and quality of care with the money that she received from that case. Well, that's the story, and that's it. Until we meet again, this is the storyteller telling you to stay safe and keep out of danger.